right, welcome everyone to round four. We've got jolterz at the bottom of your screen, Portich at the top. Let's tell our players that they are good to go. Let's check out some mono fire versus Menace. So we're getting a lot of Menace decks tonight. So we're trying to get you. We're trying to get some different ones, but let's be honest. When half the field is Brigand Menace, we're gonna can't avoid it forever.
They are a menace.
Indeed. Alrighty. Well, hand is Blazing Salvo, Seek Power, unprocced Broken Contract, and a Barricade Basher. I do not like this hand, but
Yeah.
it's probably better than a 6, but oof, don't love it.
I mean, you're gonna throw a 5/5 down on turn 3.
Yep.
Discard a power, and you're probably okay for right now.
Decent shape. I'm not one to give advice, but I will tell anyone who is playing in the draft open, you better read Barricade Basher and be familiar with what it does, because pretty much shows up in every single draft. It's a common from the set. It's in a lot of packs, so you better know that you better have a plan for in draft how your draft deck is going to beat a 3 power 5/5, because lots of players will be running that. But yeah, draft open's going to be interesting. Not the most common way to play competitive Eternal, but it's going to be super interesting in draft open.
I am just not a drafter, so it would be pretty nightmarish for me to even bother attempting. So I may just drop the gold for the card, like you said.
Yeah, potentially. And for those of you who want to drop the gold, I will give Direwolf credit. They do a very good job with giving a lot of good prizes just for entering. It's expensive to enter, but you get the sweet promos, and you get those. Their prizes are pretty generous given how you finish. Like, you don't have to win a lot of games to get a ton of packs. So they're pretty generous with those. They definitely want you to play the open, and they make it worth your while for sure.
It is definitely nice to go through, and maybe you don't do your best, get a great record or anything like that, but then you still get a ton of packs to open.
Yeah, absolutely. A ton of packs for that. All right. Portich going to exploit out the Barricade Basher, then going to play a Sill, but jolterz is going to kill that Sill with a Blazing Salvo, and they are going to grab Factory Quota from the market. I will admit, everyone, this is the first time I've seen this card. Players can't gain health at the end of each player's turn if they didn't play a unit. Deal 2 damage to them. Interesting. Now, it's funny that it's hitting jolterz right now, because they're the one who hasn't played out units, and Portich does. That's interesting in this matchup. I can see why that would be good against a control deck. The only thing I'm questioning here is that Portich's deck isn't really a control deck. I mean, this deck is playing Ends and Occultists and Sills. They're going to be playing out units a lot of the game.
I mean, they both have 32 units in their decks. So
it's also funny that jolterz has the one who's taken 4 damage off of this, because they don't have any units to play. You're playing your own ruin on you.
Right.
But Portich only has 2 power and a Vicious Overgrowth in hand, so no units for Portich either. But not going jolterz well. Speaking of promos, nice little Seek Power promo there for jolterz as well.
That's pretty good.
Gonna get it down to 6, taking 2 more damage. Let's just note it now, taking 6 damage from not playing any units since casting that, and that's going to be 8 damage. So jolterz went to the market, played this relic, took 8 damage off of it, and did nothing.
Wow.
Not the way you want to go.
It's rough. It's rough.
Man, if only they could go one more turn and take the Frafa out of pinging yourself for lethal. Well, that hand didn't work out for jolterz, so Portich is going to take that one. I mean, we saw that. Unfortunately, you had one. You basically were relying on that Barricade Basher hit. That was jolterz's plan. Was it might not be a great keep, but it's better than 6, and I'm going to stick this Barricade Basher and go from there. And getting that exploited on turn 2 and then not drawing anything else the rest of the game. That's
I mean, to be honest, they didn't really have much that they could have gotten out of the market except Edict of Shavka. Really, that would have at least pinged something. They just didn't have they don't have a unit in there that would have worked.
Right. That's also one of the games where you kind of just got to shake that off, because the way that jolterz was drawing, even if you played out the 5/5, like jolterz didn't draw anything the rest of the game. It's not like it's not like they were likely going to be advancing that matchup anyway, favoring that matchup. All right, let's head down to the action. We've got game 2 here for jolterz versus Portich. It looks like jolterz is on the play. Awkward hand there, not really good
Yeah.
power. This is a good one though. You got Besiege the Throne, Prism Golem, Bellax, and Siege Train. I like that start. On the other side of things, we see a Vine Grafter, a Huntress, a Whispering Wind, and 4 power.
Yeah, these are both really good hands, I think.
Notably, Portich with 1 Primal in those 4 power, which is fine, but are off of casting Huntress. But, you know, you're not really going to cast Huntress usually on turn 3 anyway. Let me make sure the players are not waiting for us. Jolterz that they're good to go.
G2G.
Probably were, so sorry about that. Display of Menace, the draw for Portage.
So, I mean, jolterz really needs a suppressor to make use of the Bellax, though. That's
yeah, that suppressor would be nice.
I wonder if you just plunder something.
Could not gonna plunder there. Just gonna keep drawing those sigils. Try to get up to that speaking circle. Yeah, this is a little awkward. You get your Prism Golem down, but Portich was able to act first again with a Vine Grafter. Also have a Vicious Overgrowth off the top. Now, unfortunately, this is depleted, so you got a Seat and a Painting, so only 2 power are going to be available to Portich this turn.
Yeah.
But you could drop another Vine Grafter. You could play Whispering Wind, Vicious Overgrowth. Yeah, you could attack in and use that Vicious Overgrowth. Ooh, I don't know about that block. Yeah, so the plan there, of course, was Jolterz said, "Well, I can get a free block and pop your regen." Maybe just calling the bluff and saying, "If you want to pop your regen for a free attack, I will." Not knowing that Portich had that Vicious Overgrowth, but Portich going to fire that off. Jolterz also might be thinking that, hey, I've got 2 more Siege Trains and a Speaking Circle to follow this up. So if you want to use your whole turn to kill my Prism Golem, go for it. Like I'm going to follow up with a pair of 6/4s.
I think you're right, because I mean, if you might as well just block and get stuff off the board, you know.
Yeah,
eventually.
Good play there.
Now they've spent a whole turn going to their market. What do they have in the market?
So they went and got a Moldermuck. Moldermuck with regen. That's pretty good. Moldermuck with regen is pretty good against on a fire as well. Jolterz is going to play out that second copy of Siege Train here. Thank you, Skithix, for the follow, by the way. I apologize for that a little late. We appreciate the follows. Thanks for your support. Thanks for everyone for following and subbing and helping us out so we can run these tourneys. We really appreciate it. Back in for 6. Put Portage down to 22. Drawing a no when to hold 'em. Good old Kenny Rogers off the top for Portage.
Good old Kenny. Just call it the Kenny card. It's like, that's why I have a hard time with card names, is because I just make associations with other things. So like Sadidi is actually Skittles, but that was somebody else like came up with that, but it just stuck in my head.
Yeah, those nicknames. All right, well, here's that 5/5 regen Moldermuck, but Jolterz says, let's make you deal with the Speaking Circle. Let's see what these flips are going to be. This is the game. Now that you can't see them as they go, you got to try to get quick eyes. It's tough for me. It was great having when Stormblast was on, because Stormblast was able to get all the card names, and I was like, I have no idea what these cards are.
By the way, that was Totes Olive that came up with that.
Totes Olive. That was a fire burn spell, I think.
Burn spell, or
I don't remember
something. I know the art. Okay, so Shush. That's interesting. I mean, Shush takes out the Moldermuck.
Yeah, it's in a seer there. All right,
or the
first one was
Vine
Trick Shot. Give one of your units Overwhelm and Quick Draw this turn. Shush to silence it, and Seer deal 3. Trading in the Speaking Circle here, though. I mean, I think if you're Portage, you just say, "Hey, take 12."
Well, they don't have a choice, really, because they're reckless, right?
Oh, good call. Good call. These are reckless. Yep. I did forget that, but yeah, I guess that's the one downside of playing Speaking Circle this turn is, it's just going to die. But you're right. Good call that these are reckless, so it didn't have a chance to protect it anyway.
I mean, they didn't block, so they took 12.
12. Now, what you could next turn, I don't know if I like this play, but if Jolterz wants, play out that Wasteland Broker, then Bellax one of these, get the trigger.
You have to do 2. You do.
Well, if you play out the
I see
Wasteland
what
Broker
I
first,
see what you're saying.
then you
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Bellex,
you're
sack
right.
the Wasteland Broker, and then one of the Siege Trains, you get the 8/8 and
Yep,
you get the trigger from the Siege Train.
yep, you're right.
No, I guess you can even attack too because they don't
Wow.
have good blocks, and then just sack whichever one. Yeah, I think I like that.
So did they do piercing? What did they do as their selection?
This one's Piercing Shot.
Piercing.
This one's Ember Fury Blade. Ooh, Ember Fury Blade also on the Bellax, or even just differentiate and put it on your Wasteland Broker here. But Piercing Shot's gonna do pretty good. I think there's 2 of those, right? So it's gonna put Portich down to 1. Maybe you don't do the Bellax play though. Portich is at 1.
Yeah.
Maybe you just keep.
So they did Blade on the other one.
Yeah, yeah, Blade on the other one. Yeah, I actually don't like doing the play I mentioned just because you already put him down to 1. I think you keep your 6/4 Overwhelm. Now you've got Scythe Slash there. Yeah, I like this better. Thank you so much for the follow, Rstall. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Actually, folks, we're almost up to 1,000 Twitch followers. I usually don't not one to call out those metrics, but that's a pretty big one. I think we're at like 960 or something. So if you haven't given us a follow, feel free. We really appreciate the support here. 944. So yeah, we're getting close. Lots of support. That's pretty great. Considering from the Eternal community, you're usually looking at 100 in that range. Having 944 followers, that's great. Get those community numbers up for Eternal. Feeling good. Ooh. All right, Combust is going to take out that unit, but Scythe Slash gives Overwhelm.
Yes.
So this is going to make one giant unit plus Overwhelm. 13. We're going to make it a 17 power Overwhelm.
That's hilarious.
jolterz is going to attack that in.
Ring.
There comes the Overwhelm damage. Well played, well navigated by jolterz there. Credit where credit is due. Very well navigated there. All right, going to tie it up at 1 game apiece. Both these players going into this critical Swiss round. We're in round 4. It's going to be a top 8 tonight. Now, there's a few less people than usual. We've got a small crowd today, about 27 players, which means we're going to have a couple of X2s in the top 8. So you are not out at X2. A quick look at the standings. Looks like jolterz and Portich are both 2-1 right now. So with a win here and going to 3-1 going into the last Swiss round, they're going to be in pretty good shape. Now they're not locked. 3-2 is definitely not locked. There's going to be you have to fight for your 3-2 slot. But Spifferific going to 4-0. So Spifferific on a big win going to 4-0. They are going to be locked into top 8. So congratulations to Spifferific on making it to the top 8 tonight.
Very nice. Very nice.
The Overmaster and Ambivalent Thoughts are both 3-0, but both of them are probably in pretty good shape to start 3-0. You lose your last 2 means you probably have pretty good tiebreakers, but obviously winning that one is where you want to be for sure. All right, players are ready. Let's head down to game 3, jolterz versus Portich. Check this one out. Players know they are good to go. All right, game 3. jolterz keeping a hand of Broken Contract, Depleted Power, Bellax, 2 Might Weavers, and Prism Golem. I think the double Might Weaver Prism Golem was just too much to to turn down.
And then you can
beseech the throne as well. Yeah.
Right. You can plunder the Bellax away.
You can. Yep. Good call. Portich, on the other hand, is keeping Seek Power, Whispering Wind, Maveloft Huntress, Exploit, and Vinegrafter. That Seek Power is funny. I think both these was jolterz running Seek Power. Somebody was running Seek Power earlier, and I remember I think it was Doc and Boxer were going at it on Twitter about how scary it is when someone plays Seek Power, because then that it's a well built deck.
Yeah.
Your opponent's a good player if they're running Seek Power, because he's like, well, they know what they're doing.
They know what's going on.
All right, Beseech the Throne, going to draw a Barricade Basher. Yeah, you're going to exploit something here. Exploited the second copy of Might Weaver, actually, over the Bellax there.
Interesting. Well,
Portich has the Whispering Wind, and I wonder if we're going to see Exploit come out here. Actually, lots of options. You got Exploit. I believe Portich was on the play, so can Crafty Huntress doesn't do anything, and you don't have a second primal, so you wouldn't do that. But exploit or Vinegrafter or Crafty. Oh, we're going for that play. I
Nice.
love it.
Okay.
I love it. So Whispering Wind discarding Crafty Occultist, but then going to pick up Krull is going to basically play Crafty from the Void. That's a good turn right there for Portich. Look at what happened that turn.
Yeah.
For 2 power
They
spent. They still have a power left.
I know. 3 units. Ooh. Oh, do they have anything in them?
I don't think
no.
so. Yeah.
That's
not the perfect timing there. That would have been really sweet, but nothing in the Void. But what a turn 3 for Portich last turn.
You should definitely get a Kenny Rogers sound bite every time.
I needed to get one. It's true.
So like each time somebody plays it, just
even just the instrumental background would be good.
Yeah, totally.
Play out the Huntress now, and that Huntress can clean take out this Prism Golem if Portich wants. Oh, and I love it. Look at this. Playing the Sill, and the Huntress is a 5/3. Oh, the value.
This is just crazy.
Just
that
sick
board
value
state
for
is
Portich
just...
here. Oh my gosh, and look, Portich has another copy of Huntress in hand. They can do the exact same play this turn. They can do the same play. They can Huntress on the Vinegrafter, attack, kill, get another 1/1 flyer, and attack for 1,000,000. Oof. And they can play Whispering Wind too. Portich can play Power, Huntress, plunder their extra sigil, play Whispering Wind, kill jolterz unit, get a 1/1 flyer, attack for 1,000,000. They have done. Portich has put on a clinic of how much value you can get in these turns because they've done so much. This is turn 5 for them, and look how much they've done. It's amazing.
That is crazy.
This has been brutal. And actually going to discard the Whispering Wind, and then just going to cash in the Trove. That's going to already put jolterz down to 7.
Wow. This is game 3, right?
Yeah. Wow. And that's why this deck is so good. That was unreal what those turns just were that Portich pulled together.